Let us see our next question. Mrs. Omega Electronics Ltd exports air conditioner to Germany by importing all the components from Singapore. So there is a company called Omega Electronics. It is importing components from Singapore and exporting air conditioners to Germany. The company is exporting 2400 number of units at the price of 500 euro per unit. That is the selling price. The cost of the imported component is 800 Singapore dollar per unit. The fixed cost and other variable costs per unit are 1000 rupees and 1500 rupees respectively. The cash flows in foreign currencies are due in 6 months. The current exchange rates are as follows. We have been provided with the exchange rate for rupees per euro and rupees per Singapore dollar. We have to read it like this: 51.50 slash 51.55, 27.20 slash 27.25. Always we have to make sure that the right hand side rate is higher than the left hand side rate. After 6 months, the exchange rate turns out to be as under. So it is 52 slash 52.05, 27.70 slash 27.75 rupees per euro and rupees per Singapore dollar respectively. You are required to calculate loss or gain due to transaction exposure. That is the first question. Second question is given to us. Of course, that we'll read later on. First of all, we are going to do the first question. I request all of you to do answer for the first part of the question and put your answer in the chat box. So we will make the computation of the profit or loss using the spot exchange rates and using the exchange rate after 6 months. Difference of both of them will be considered as a profit or loss due to transaction exposure. So please write an answer along with me. Calculation of profit or loss at current exchange rate and at revised exchange rate. So in that, write down spot rate and rates after 6 months. Column number 1 will be particulars. In that, we will have the first of all sales value. We understand, friends, over here that's a 2400 number of units and selling price is 500. So 2400 into 500, product of both of them is the sales value. If at all we use the spot exchange rate, we understand it is sell of euro and purchase of rupees. Then in that case we will get 51.50. So over here 2400 into 500 into 51.50. That is the way we are required to compute the current sales value. 2400 into 500, that comes to 12 lakhs. Multiplied with the exchange rate. So 2400 into 500 into exchange rate. So in that case it is 12 lakhs into 51.50. And the exchange rate after 6 months is 52. Because again it is the sell of euro and purchase of rupees, you will get less amount of rupees. between both of them. So 12 lakhs into 51.5, that comes to 618 lakhs. Later on it is 12 lakhs into 52, that comes to 624 lakhs. Then we understand it's the material cost. For that again 2400 number of units into 800 Singapore dollar is the price at which you are going to buy the raw material into exchange rate. So 2400 into 800, that comes to 19.2 lakhs into it is sell of rupees and purchase of Singapore dollar. So you have to sell higher amount of rupees 27.25. So into 27.25. Afterwards it will be once again 19.2 lakhs into sell of rupees and purchase of dollar, that is Singapore dollar 27.75. So it is 27.75. So 19.2 lakh into 27.25, that comes to 523.2 lakhs. Next, again 19.2 into 27.75, that is 532.8 lakhs. Okay. Next is provided to us regarding the expenses which is in the domestic currency term. Fixed cost is given to us, it is 1000 rupees per unit. Fixed cost, it is 1000 rupees per unit, multiplied with 2400 number of units, that comes to an amount of 24 lakhs. And of course it is going to remain same. Variable cost, it is provided as 1500 rupees per unit. So over here 1500 multiplied with 2400 number of units, that comes to 36 lakhs. This is the way we will compute the profit or loss using the spot exchange rate and using the exchange rate after 6 months. 6.8 minus 523.2 minus 24 minus 36. So there is a profit of 34,80,000. Afterwards, once again 624 minus 532.8 minus 24 minus 36. That is 31,20,000. So this is what we understand is there is a reduction in the profit. So loss due to transaction exposure. This is the way we are required to write the answer. It is 34,80,000 minus 31,20,000. So that comes to 3,60,000. So the loss due to transaction exposure is 3,60,000. This is the way we are required to write the answer for the first part of the question. Let us see the second part of the question. Based on the following additional information, calculate loss or gain due to 1. Transaction exposure and 2. Operating exposure. If the contracted price of the air conditioner is rupees 25,000, the current exchange rate changes to, so this is the spot exchange rate. Price elasticity of the demand is estimated to be 1.50, and payments and the receipts are to be settled at the end of the 6 months. That is the way the information is provided to us. So first of all, we are required to make the computation of the simple, that is, say the profit or loss due to transaction exposure. The spot exchange rate is, say, changes to this. However, the exchange rate after 6 months have not been provided or revised. So we have to take the exchange rate after the 6 months, this only. With that, so we are required to make the computation of answer. So write down heading calculation of profit or loss due to transaction exposure and operating exposure. So the new concept that we are going to learn over here is the profit or loss due to operating exposure. How to make the calculation of answer, that we are going to understand. So particulars, column number 1, spot exchange rate, then exchange rate after 6 months. In that, transaction and operating. Dear students, over here there will be total 4 column. First column is very simple, that is say the particulars. Second column is the profit or loss calculation using the spot exchange rate. Third column will be say for the purpose of calculation of the profit or loss due to transaction exposure, we are going to prepare a statement of the profit or loss using the revised spot exchange rate. And for profit or loss for operating exposure, there is one more column that say we are going to prepare. How to complete this, I am just discussing that with you. But before that, say I want to complete profit or loss using spot exchange rate and revise the spot exchange rate. Dear students, over here, of course, you must have noticed that they have provided this time that the consideration is a rupees term. In a way that the question is providing the information in the second part of the question that the air conditioners will be sold for rupees 25,000. So, as far as the profit or loss due to transaction exposure is concerned, it is only due to such change in the exchange rate for Singapore dollar currency. This is what we understand. So, the working is required to be made something like this. I just give you some explanation. Since it is slightly new, that is the reason. As far as the sales value is concerned, we understand that say that 25,000 rupees is the selling price into 2,400 is the number of units, and so on. We are required to prepare the column. So over here the sales value is 25,000 into 2,400, that comes to an amount of 600 lakhs. Then we understand it's the direct material. In that, it is 2,400 number of units into 800 Singapore dollar multiplied with the exchange rate. The question is providing that the current exchange rate changes. So 27.15. So it is 27.15. So 2,400 into 800, 19.2 lakh, we already have found it, into 27.15. That comes to 521.28 lakhs. Next, variable cost, that is an amount of I think 1,500 per unit. So it is 1,500 rupees per unit into 2,400. That comes to an amount of 36 lakhs. Fixed cost 1,000 rupees per unit into 2,400. That comes to 24 lakhs. So finally now sales 600 minus 521.28 minus 36 minus 24. So the profit or loss using the spot exchange rate is 18 lakh 72,000. Now taking into account the exchange rate after 6 months, this is going to remain same 600 lakhs. As far as the direct material cost is concerned, it is going to change. The exchange rates are changing to 27.75. So here we will have 2400 into 800 into 27.75. That is 532.8 lakhs. Variable cost same, need not to have any further working in that. Fixed cost same. So sales value is 600 lakhs minus 532.8 lakhs minus 36 minus 24. So there is yet profit, but the profit has substantially fallen down. It is 7 lakh 20,000 only. So now we will compute the difference of this two. That is 18 lakh 72,000 and 7 lakh 20,000. So the difference comes to 11 lakh 52,000. So we will have the profit or loss due to transaction exposure. That is an amount of 11 lakh 52,000. It is found as a difference of 18 lakh 72,000 minus 7 lakh 20,000. This is the way we compute the profit or loss due to transaction exposure. Now we are going to understand calculation of the profit or loss due to operating exposure. So now let us have understanding of the calculation of the profit or loss due to operating exposure. The kind of working that we are required to do is like this. Everybody is requested to pay attention. As far as the spot exchange rate is concerned, in the first part of the question, the spot exchange rate is given to us as 51.50 slash 51.55 rupees per euro. While in the second part of the question, the spot exchange rate is 51.75 slash 51.80 rupees per euro. That is the way, so the spot exchange rates have been provided to us. Now we understand that over here, let's say from the German company point of view, which is importing the goods, we can say that say from German company point of view, the kind of transaction in which it will enter upon for the purpose of making payment is like sell of euro and purchase of rupees. Taking into account the exchange rate in the first part of the question, so this is the exchange rate. Now in second part of the question, so this is the exchange rate. The consideration is provided in rupees term. There is an amount of rupees 25,000. So we can say that's the purchase price per unit is equal to, we can say that's the amount in rupees term divided by exchange rate. This is the way the price per unit can be calculated. It is for using the exchange rate in the first part of the question and exchange rate in the second part of the question. In the first part of the question, it was 51.50. So we can say that rupees 25,000 divided by 51.50. So the price at which it can buy the air conditioner is 485.4369 or 485.44. That is the price at which, say, the air conditioner can be purchased. In second part of the question, the exchange rate is provided such because of which they can buy the number of units. Sorry, they can buy the product at which price. Let us check out that. 25,000 divided by 51.75. So 25,000 divided by 51.75. So 483.09. So it is 483.09 euro. So can we say that, say, from the German company point of view, the price at which it can buy the product is becoming less? Using the A part of the question, the rate at which it was able to purchase the product was 485. Now it is able to buy the product at a lower price. So we can say something like this: percentage change in the price is equal to 483.09 minus 485.44 divided by 485.44 into 100. So 483.09 minus 485.44 upon 485.44 into 100. So there is a reduction in the purchase price of the product for them due to change in the exchange rate by 0.48 percentage. We understand that, so this is a reduction in the price at which they can buy the product. Now why this reduction of the price is say relevant over here? Because you can see that over here they have provided one of the economics point. Price elasticity of the demand is estimated to be 1.5. This is what, say, one of the point that, say, we have studied in economics, that is price elasticity of demand is measuring what would be the percentage change in demand with percentage change in price. Over here we can see that, so the price is reducing, so the demand will increase. What is the rate at which the demand will increase? Percentage change in demand is equal to 1.50 into 0.48 percentage. So 1.5 into 0.48%. So it comes to 0.72 percentage. And of course we understand that since the price decreases, so the demand will increase. So revise the demand is equal to 2400 number of units plus 0.72 percentage. 2400 plus 0.72%, that comes to 2417.20, that is 28. However, we are restricting it to like non-integer value, so 2417 number of units. Means we understand that, say, since the exchange rate is changing, which is in favor to the German company, they will be able to buy more number of units. So they will purchase 2417 number of units instead of 2400. Price is 25,000. So for the Omega Limited, the sales value is going to be an amount of 6 crore 4 lakh 25,000. 6 crore 4 lakh 25,000. Purchasing 2417 number of units at the rate of 800, and for that, so the payment is required to be made at 27.75. So we understand that's over here 2417 into 800 into 27.75. So the purchase price is 5 crore 36 lakhs 57,400. Variable cost will increase. So it is 1500 number of units once again. Sorry, 1500 rupees cost per unit into 2417. That comes to 36 lakhs 25,500. As far as the fixed cost is concerned, the fixed cost is going to remain same 24 lakhs. And then the profit or loss will be found. 6 crore 4 lakh 25,000 minus 5 crore 36 lakhs 57,400 minus 36 lakhs 25,500 minus 24 lakhs. So there is a profit of 7 lakh 42,400. So the last answer is profit or loss due to operating exposure. So it will be found like this: 18 lakh 72,000 minus 7 lakh 42,100. So that comes to 11 lakh 29,900. This is the way we are required to give answer for the profit or loss due to operating exposure. Dear students, I had given you some explanation like this, that what is the profit or loss due to operating exposure. Dear students, when you will read theory, then in that case you must read like this: as far as the value of the firm is concerned, value of the firm is equal to present value of the future cash flows. So cash flow at the end of the first year discounted, cash flows at the end of the second year discounted, and so on. Whatever the cash flows that you are going to receive, all of them are discounted in present value term, and that is what we understand is value of the firm. This is the technical language. Now, if at all, so there is a change in the exchange rate, there is an expectation that the exchange rate is going to now change. Because of that, so the value of the firm may increase, may decrease. That change is what we understand is the profit or loss due to operating exposure. However, the institute has asked a question like this in examination, and for that, so this is the suggested answer which they have provided. So we understand that, so this is the way even we have to write answer in examination. What we have done, I just repeat that quickly. First of all, we have made the computation that the price at which they can buy the product in their currency. In a way that, say, from the German company point of view, what is the price at which they can buy the product is calculated first of all. It is in their currency, that is in euro currency. We can observe that, so the price decreases for them because the exchange rate is, say, changing favorably for them. Since the price reduces, they will be able to buy more number of units. By how much percentage? 0.72 percentage. So instead of 2400, it is 2417 number of units is what, say, you are going to, say, buy, and with that, say, we will compute the profit or loss. Whatever the profit or loss that, say, we compute over here, that amount will be compared with the profit or loss with the spot exchange rate to compute the profit or loss due to operating exposure. Chalo, please write down further a note for this. In this question, comma, in order to calculate profit or loss due to operating exposure, comma, we have to find profit or loss considering revise the sales quantity and revise the spot exchange rate. Full stop. Over here, we understand that due to change in exchange rate, comma, price at which product can be purchased reduces, and with that demand will increase. Full stop.